Being a pro athlete might seem all glitz and glam, but trust me, for some players, it's anything but. We're talking about wearing jerseys that come with a weight heavier than any trophy. Jerseys that represent a legacy of relentless winning, demanding fans, and the constant scrutiny of the world. So what are the top 7 hardest teams to play for as a pro? Let's see if your favorite club makes the cut. Number 1. Real Madrid. Playing for Real Madrid isn't just about stepping onto the pitch and showcasing your skills. It's about carrying the weight of history and facing immense pressure. Madrid is by far the greatest club in the history of football, and looking at their trophy cabinet proves that this is true. Having the highest number of domestic titles in La Liga, 14 Champions League trophies, and almost getting the 15th one in their upcoming final against Borussia Dortmund makes it difficult for any other team to contend with them for the top spot. In fact, the worst moments in the history of Madrid are the best moments of some other big clubs in other leagues. No wonder it's hard for just any player to get into this super team that was once home to the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, Zinedine Zidane, Roberto Carlos, and other legends. Nothing else captures this demanding environment like the famous quote by Real Madrid legend Alfredo Di Stefano that says, "The Real Madrid shirt is white. It can be stained with mud, sweat, or even blood, but never of shame." The white jersey symbolizes not just the club's colors, but the relentless pursuit of excellence. Every player who puts it on becomes part of a legacy, and every performance is judged against the incredible achievements of the past. Just like the white color of the jersey, mistakes can be made, but there's no room for letting the club down or tarnishing its reputation. As a Real Madrid player, you're constantly striving for greatness, knowing that even the slightest slip-up can be met with harsh criticism from fans and media alike. If their greatest player ever, Cristiano Ronaldo, was booed once, what of other players that are not even half as good as prime CR7? We all know the answer. And just like Madrid, another La Liga team that is incredibly hard to play for is, well, you guessed right, Barcelona. Stepping onto the pitch at Camp Nou for Barcelona is like stepping onto a revered hall of football history. Legends like Johan Cruyff, Ronaldinho, Messi, Xavi, Iniesta have all graced that turf, and their brilliance casts a long shadow. The bar at Barcelona isn't just high, it's sky high. These iconic players not only recognized it. Remember tiki-taka? That was an invention from Barcelona, a possession-based style of play that wowed the world. Just like their arch-rivals Real Madrid, Barcelona boasts a trophy cabinet overflowing with accolades, and multiple Ballon d'Or winners that have called the Camp Nou home. This rich history translates into pressure. Fans become accustomed to a certain level of dominance, and anything less can feel like a disappointment. Imagine winning the league title but facing criticism because you weren't dominant enough in possession. That's the kind of scrutiny you face at Barcelona. Last season, Robert Lewandowski, the league's top scorer, faced rumbles of discontent because some felt he didn't perfectly embody Barcelona's philosophy. Here, winning isn't everything. It's winning the Barcelona way. The pressure to be not just excellent, but artistically excellent, is a unique kind of challenge that separates playing for Barca from playing for any other club. Talking about excellence, another club that requires artistic excellence is 3. Manchester City. Manchester City might not have the historical weight of a club like Real Madrid, but playing for them under Pep Guardiola is no walk in the park. Sure, the fans might not be as critical of the playing style as long as you win, but Pep himself sets the bar incredibly high. Here it's all about results and how you achieve them. Think of it like this: imagine being an intern artist and your boss doesn't just care if you finish the painting, they also care about every single brushstroke. City is a place where talent alone isn't enough. Pep constantly demands improvements and tweaks his tactics like a chess master. This means even the biggest stars aren't guaranteed a starting spot. I mean, we all remember Jack Grealish, right? This guy was a record-breaking signing that Pep got from Aston Villa, but he's had more minutes on the bench than the minutes he's played for City. Or should we talk about this young baller, Cole Palmer? This kid couldn't even break into City's first team, but he's a key player for Chelsea. Even City legends like Sergio Aguero haven't been immune to the chopping block. The pressure to perform at the highest level every single game is immense. One bad showing or simply not fitting Pep's system perfectly can mean you're out. It's not an easy club to play for, but for those who can handle the pressure and adapt to Pep's ever-changing tactics, playing for Manchester City can be a truly rewarding experience. Now, like I said earlier, although City might not have Madrid's historical weight despite their massive success, one club does, and that is 4. Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, the only German team to win 11 titles in a row, and although that streak was stopped by Leverkusen this season, and Bayern was also pretty much disorganized for the first time in a long time, the name Bayern Munich still evokes images of a winning team in German and European football, so for players, wearing the famous red jersey is no mean feat. Here, success is a standard, not an aspiration. Imagine stepping onto the Allianz Arena, knowing that legends like Arjen Robben, Frank Ribery, Robert Lewandowski, Thomas Müller, and Bastian Schweinsteiger all donned this same shirt. I mean, how many strikers can live up to the relentless goal-scoring machine that Lewandowski was? Which midfielder can perfectly replicate the tactical intelligence of Müller? The spotlight is always on, and anything less than a win feels like a disappointment. Bayern Munich is a place where only the best can thrive, and even then, the pressure to maintain this legacy is something every player must face. Being a pro footballer for Bayern Munich takes more than just being a decent footballer. But back to the Premier League. 5. Manchester United. Truth be told, Manchester United hasn't won many trophies in the last decade, and watching their noisy neighbours lift title after title stings even more. But here's the thing, the glory days might be a thing of the past, but the pressure to succeed in the present still remains. Why? Because Manchester United is still a giant, a sleeping one perhaps, but a giant nonetheless. Putting on the iconic red jersey worn by legends like George Best, Sir Bobby Charlton, Eric Cantona, and more recently Cristiano Ronaldo. The ghosts of these giants fill the stadium, and the fans, although frustrated, still dream of these glory days. The media spotlight is relentless. Every mistake dissected, every win met with a cautious, "Are they back?" There's pressure from the stands too. While some fans might turn on you quickly, their passion is undeniable. Success isn't just expected, it's demanded. And there's no need to look far, even the most talented players can crumble under this pressure. Look at Paul Pogba, Romelu Lukaku, or Harry Maguire. All exceptional players who struggled under the weight of expectation. Can you handle the weight of history, the constant scrutiny, and the yearning of a fanbase desperate for silverware? Maybe playing for Man United might not guarantee trophies, but the struggle to restore the glory days persists. However, if you think it's hard to play for Manchester United, it's even harder to play for 6. Chelsea. Chelsea's rich history with players like Lampard, Drogba, Terry, and Hazard makes it an attractive club for any professional footballer, but because it's attractive and highly coveted, it's also a challenge for today's players. People thought the Roman Abramovich era was brutal with the way managers were not given time to build their philosophy, but the new ownership even seems less patient. For instance, Thomas Tuchel was sacked after guiding the team to a third-place finish and a Champions League qualification spot. This was the same coach that won them the Champions League a season earlier. How can you develop a cohesive style of play and build team chemistry when the playbook keeps changing? Imagine struggling to adapt to one's manager's tactics, only to have a completely new philosophy thrust upon you with the next. To worsen the matter, 4 coaches, Graham Potter, Bruno Slater, Frank Lampard, and Pochettino, coached Chelsea for the rest of last season and this new one. And yet again, they've sacked Pochettino, who secured a Europa League spot for the club after finishing 12th last season. When will they get it right, is a question echoing through the halls of Stamford Bridge. Constant managerial changes make it incredibly difficult for players to develop a cohesive style of play. All of these factors contribute to why it's hard to play for a club like Chelsea. 7. PSG. To round off this video, let's shift gears and head to the French capital, Paris. Playing for Paris Saint-Germain might seem like a dream come true on the surface. World-class teammates, a fancy stadium, and a passionate fanbase. But scratch beneath that glittering facade and you'll find a pressure cooker of an environment. The most obvious pressure comes from the fans, particularly the Ultras, which are a notoriously demanding group known for their fiery display of support. Imagine being booed by your own fans, even after a decent performance. This happened to superstars like Messi, Neymar, despite their immense talent. These incidents, along with both players wanting out of the club at the same time, speak volumes about the intense scrutiny at PSG. Adding to the pressure is the club's ownership. Unlike some teams that build consistency with long-term projects, PSG is known for chopping and changing coaches and players frequently, although theirs isn't as bad as Chelsea's. One moment you're struggling to adapt to a manager's tactics, only to have a completely new approach thrown at you with the next. So, while the talent pool at PSG is undeniable, the relentless pressure from fans and the lack of stability from ownership make it a challenging environment for even the most skilled footballers. And these are the 7 clubs that are difficult to play for as a pro. That'll be all for now, guys. See you in the next video.